Okay, so let me tell you about tips that I use on my drawings, okay? So those tips will be about drawing eyes. I use them very often. Every time I draw eyes, I have them in my mind. And yeah, I already did videos about drawing and painting eyes, and also about my 1 week improvement while drawing eyes. So go check it out. Let's just start with the first one. So the first one is actually I recently discovered it. It's about whenever you have your highlights, okay? Your highlights. What I do is I take the average hue on the eye, okay? So let's say it's here. And I choose the complementary color, okay? So I go here. And okay, I choose like a light color. And also check some values and stuff. And yeah, I use that to make the highlights, okay? So we can, like, I don't know, shape it, whatever. But yeah, it's, for example, now, let's say you use something like that. You see that it's almost the same, you know, values and stuff. Okay. But still, this, you know, those eyes, those highlights, they pop out more. And because it's the contrast of hue. So that's what I recently realized. Actually, it was while drawing lips. So yeah, I just was experimenting with, you know, highlights, and I realized it. So that's the first tip. Now the second one is, so sometimes, you know, when you draw in your, I don't know, the faces in your piece, they may look scuffed AF. The reason why, it's probably because your eyes aren't aligned. So when we draw eyes, okay, so let's, you know, make a simple eye, okay, and let's just, for the sake of it, let's flip it, okay. So, you know, it's pretty much aligned. I mean, it is, and it looks alright. Now, for example, we have I don't know, an angle, okay, to our face, and sometimes when we draw, you know, this might look aligned, but to be honest, when we rotate it, okay, or even we flip, you can really spot the mistake. So just remember, okay, one, align your eyes in here, in the tear duct, okay, and also align your eyes in this, you know, where, I don't know, the lower lid touches upper lid, okay, so also like align with this. Okay, I'm lazy. Yeah, that's the basic proportion. Yeah, that's like what I use for my proportions. So, you know, I just try to align those two things. We're still in proportions. Now let's talk about another tip, which is to fit an eye in between those two eyes, okay? So you see here, it's a little bit off, but you know, we won't be pissed about that. But yeah, try to, when you're drawing eyes, try to be able, you know, to fit between them one eye. And you know, I saw on my drawings sometimes that my faces look off, and you know, while I was looking at them, you know, I didn't even have to like take them and, you know, make those lines here, bing bong, bing bing, like look for the proportion. It was really easy to spot on. So that was like, okay, this, you know, the eye between those eyes, and also the alignment of eyes were like 99% of reasons why my eyes looked off, and you know, they looked bad. Let's go to the other tip, which is to work on two eyes at the same time. So whenever you draw, okay, let's say you draw eyes, okay, whatever, and you, I don't know, let's say best, let's kind of render it, okay. Okay, now we have here a simple eye, okay. Let's make, I don't know, this also. And now you go to work on that eye, okay, and you know, you just working, like you look at that, and you try to replicate it. Okay, it is not the way you're supposed to do it, okay. I mean, you can do that, whatever. I just sharing my tips, what works for me, and yeah, that's what works for me. So what I do is whenever I draw eyes, okay, let's say we draw upper lid, I do the same for the other eye, okay, and I try to, you know, make it symmetrical, I guess, you know, and to look the same, so, you know, the proportions aren't all fucked up. Okay, let's say you draw one eye first, okay, bing bong bing bing, let's say, okay, first eye, and now you draw other. There is a chance you will, you know, make those proportions, but for example, like in this eye is a lot smaller than this, while doing, you know, one stroke or two and going to the other to, you know, to mirror that, there is a less chance of, you know, getting wrong proportions. So whenever you do one or two strokes here, you go to other and do the same strokes, okay? Now let's say you did those two, okay? So maybe now you, I don't know, put two more. And now from that you go here and you just repeat it, okay? You go into that loop. So the next tip is to actually, whenever you draw eyelashes, I mean, don't draw them like that. This is not how eyelashes look like. So there's actually two tips in that. So yeah, first one is put a spot in middle of an eye, okay? Whatever. It depends also on the perspective, but whatever. I have videos about it. So yeah, you can go check them out. Okay, yeah. So put this point here, and now from that, you know, shoot those straight lines wherever you want, you know, in every direction. And now here you have one, okay, here you have other, bing bing bing, and now it looks much better. But now, other tip to that, you know, in the same package, whenever you draw eyelashes, okay, remember about those straight lines, but also group those eyelashes. Okay, so like draw a couple of them. Okay, and that way they will look, you know, more appealing. Okay, and like less is more for me. I don't like to like draw every eyelash. Okay, it's not in my style. It may be in yours, but do whatever you know you want. If you have a specific style in your mind, okay, just do whatever you want, whatever pleases you. Now, two other tip: remember the eye as a ball. The eyeball is a ball. Okay, so shade it like it is. Okay, that's a basic tip. Okay, here you can see that, you know, those shadows here, okay, here and here, okay, and like light goes here, yeah, whatever. Just remember it's a ball and shade it like it is. Okay, now onto the last tip is that the lower lid almost never moves. You know, I mean, it moves kinda, but you know, whenever you draw eyes, okay, let's say you have an eye, okay, let's say you have an open eye, okay, you can make it really easily closed eye if you just, you know, erase it, maybe just leave, you know, the eye wrinkles or whatever, and just make this line a little bit thicker, okay, and yeah, now you have a closed eye. Pretty simple. And you can see that here, okay, here we have an open eye and here we have a closed eye. Yeah, that's the tip for you. And you know, I've made a couple of videos about it, about drawing and painting eyes. Okay, I did a whole challenge, you know, for a 1 week I just drew eyes to see how much I improve. All the videos are you know, on my channel. So yeah, and there will be probably in those videos more tips you can check, but those tips are that I use most often, okay, that they're always in my head. Maybe you have some more tips, so you can share in comments. I would appreciate it, and you know, subscribe, like, and thank you for watching.